end. The hunter returns! I hope you are here to shop rather than sleuth. So, what piece of irrefutable evidence are you about to present me with this time? Oh, don't put stock in the hastily scribbled words of a lovelorn fool! This letter, it was a show of passion! A poorly worded passion I did not echo in the least. The Duke, he's like a spoiled child. He's not a man. He's not like Septimus.
That's funny, David. Sir, no, sir.
How can I help you, my friend? By all means. Of course. I hope your investigation fares well. His body is gone? Replaced with that of a sheep? This is all very disconcerting, to say the least. Grave robbery reeks of necromancy. It seems too improbable to be true, but nevertheless. You're onto something, Hunter. Do follow the scent and see where it leads you. I can but piece together what few morsels fell from the grapevine into... They say a woman arrived in the King Crab Inn sometime after midnight. She retired to a room on the ground floor where she was soon joined by a man who had been nursing the same cup of wine for hours. I say man and woman because both of them were cloaked and recognized by none. About an hour later, another figure arrived, headed for the same room. Soon after, a terrible commotion... It took a while for the landlord to pluck up the courage to enter the mystery room. When finally he did, how and why he came to be there, no one knows. But I had a good look around the scene of the crime before the Legion barred anyone from entering. A trace I myself have none. Even now, it may well be established that she is in fact the guilty party. I'm not claiming that I'm certain she's innocent, but...
Ah, the Source Hunter. Oh, joyous hour. What about it? I see. You've come to report a dead sheep. A heap of mutton that sailed into view upon your robbing the grave of a camp. Well, don't just stand there gawking like guppies. Hie yourself to Roberts the mortician. If anyone, well, have you found any incriminating... Like I said, the girl's known to be a flirt. But that... Ah, the Source Hunter. Oh, still not finished with that sorry matter? Well, have you found any... I see. Well, don't just stand there gawking like gup... I'm Captain Or... if you must. Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat, licking God's knows which body parts. Sects, sorcerers. I'd say they're looking for weak spots in our defenses. They can't bravo. How am I? We are the...
You think that's funny, Private? Sir, no, sir. Those folks are embarrassing.
Nothing but rubbish.
If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become. If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
Oh, hum. Looks like the mortician is rather suspicious about Jake.
What could Mayor Cecil, Captain Aureus, or Evelyn have to do with it?
We'll have none of that, you hear?
If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
Looks like the mortician is rather suspicious about Jake.
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those infernal statues sent another soul flying to his death? Sad story, that. Though if I'm speaking plainly, the sentimental aspect of it all doesn't make much of an impression on an undertaker. Especially not these days, with so many laid... I just concern myself with giving the remains a respectable exit from life. We set him to rest in the northern graveyard. Perhaps he can finally get a... How do you... Ah, the ledger, is it? Fool was I to leave it in the open. Or perhaps I even looked forward to being found out. Well, as you know, I have my suspects in the matter. Plenty of us shopkeepers entrust the mayor with the spare keys to our businesses, you know? And he's the only person in town with a second copy. He could have used it to sidle in without a peep, if he were so inclined. Aureus himself paid me a visit the night the body was delivered. Came rapping at my door in the frosty morning before the sun had even started peeping, and told me to tell him, and only him, if I noted... Can't see why he'd bothered to go through all that trouble. Unless he knew something... I know it sounds strange suspecting the doctor's apprentice of something so ghoulish as this, but there's few in this city could manage to transport a corpse without raising eyebrows. It was she who delivered Jake's body from the inn to the mortuary. And there was something about her that night. It seemed she could barely contain her thoughts. That there was something thrilling about to happen. I can't quite settle it in my mind how a young medical professional, and this may or may not have anything to do with the whole rigmarole, but her master, Dr. Theleron, bought an old shack of mine, one overtaken by undead, for an exorbitant price considering what he was getting. I never did figure what he... I never saw a widow less distraught at the death of her husband. And I've seen hundreds. It was she who rang my bell just before the body was snatched. Lured me outside claiming she needed air before discussing the funeral arrangements. Some accomplice could have sneaked in and grabbed the remains while I was comforting the oh-so-overcome Esmeralda. That gold's the only good thing to come out of this blasted affair, and I certainly plan on making some use of it. That old bag's as fat as a heifer. She won't miss that sheep for a moment. And she sure as hell won't starve over.
The death man is more of a squirrel. I'm certain he's hiding something.
She said it, not me.
Seal isn't so bad on a quiet day like this, is it?
Shut tight. Shut tight. I feel like I've been set in stone. shut tight.
I know it's here somewhere. I don't want to ruin this particular batch of party elixir with too much wormwood.
More junk. Another piece of trash.
No, I know it's here somewhere.
Another piece of
This
trash.
particular batch of party elixir with too much wormwood. She realized soon enough that her little party tricks hardly make her worthy of such grave responsibilities. I know it's here somewhere. I wouldn't want to ruin this particular batch.
Hello again. Terribly sorry, Source Hunter, but I seem to be fresh out of priceless relics for you to destroy. Is that so? Well, I handled the corpse myself, indeed, but I hardly knew the man in life. I was shocked when Ahu asked me to come to the crime scene, but I arrived at the inn, where the body lay just where it had fallen. The injuries were like nothing I'd ever seen. A single intricate laceration wove like lace around every inch of his skin. Neither a beginning nor an ending point were discernible. I examined the corpse and recorded I personally delivered the corpse the short distance to the mortician's house. As far as I know, everything was, as far as a magical murder is concerned, quite normal.
To what do I owe the repeated pleasure, Source Hunter? The world belongs to the young, they say, and Boris will live to take his... Certainly, what would you like to know? The councillor. Terrible loss, that. Though we were hardly more than acquainted, from what I can tell, it seems to be a simple case of jealousy turned violent. I've applied myself to that problem for 2 years and still haven't. I declare it an act of the Almighty's, if I believed in such things. Some events, Source Hunter, can be neither controlled nor understood by me. Yes. If that's how we're referring to the secretive use of a revolutionary heat. She's in the other room as we speak. Perhaps you can prevail upon her to offer a demonstration. She's gotten hold of a stone, supposedly, but she claims to have gotten utter rubbish, I say. Me? It was I who cured. Not to mention that it... Well, I expect...
Livestock's got twice the sense and thrice the soul of the average human, I say. Portions to be muscle you. Scroll.
Hunter returns. I hope you are here to shop rather than... So, what piece of irrefutable evidence are you about to present me with this time? I am Esmeralda, wife of... Stars? Do you mean to imply... Well, what do you want to know? Never imagine... I'm telling you...
Those boots will embarrass a bridge troll. Get to shining ring.
Sorry, sir.
You think that's
Sorry,
funny,
sir.
private?
You, again. Do feel free to depart from Sicil at your... Whom would you have the Legion arrest? What about it? If it's stolen, he has a lot to answer for. But not as much as the one that did the bribing in the first place. Guess your mission is pretty clear, isn't it? Off you go to find this munificent... You suspect the mayor? Dear me, you couldn't be further from the mark if you lay the blame on a paraplegic cow. The man raised a foundling orc out of the goodness of his heart. Evelyn? Master Theriron's apprentice? Nice lass, huh? Brewed me a potion once that cured me of a... You dare stand here and accuse me of involvement in this sordid affair? You dare!
What? Oh, hello again. Please tell me how I can help you during your investigations. Jake? Murdered, you say? Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Now I remember. Well, I'm sure the facts will prove me innocent. Keep investigating. You'll see for yourselves in time.
What is going on here? First I have to shoo away a creeping white tomcat, and now there's a perfect stranger in my bathroom. Get
out, will you?
A magical pyramid, eh?
No, if you please.
This room is private. If she soaks in flower stink much longer, deer will smell this lady from a field
Don't
away.
just stand
I'll save
there.
a leg of something good for when she begins to stalk.
Away with you.
All right, comrades, nothing to see here. Give the lady of the house a little pride.
Sightseeing isn't so bad on a quiet day like this, is it?
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Sightseeing, shiver me timbers and sliver me heels.
Speaking of youthful jaw, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
Really? The greatest warriors in Rivellon can't cross a rope.
A home, a livelihood, all sunk in a matter of minutes while we could do nothing but look on.
Captain took the Duchess of Fennel's carriage for the joyride.
No, it ain't. She's driving straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
With our ship gone, nothing for it but to get a job. Slim pickings around here, that's for sure. Maybe you can keep an eye out. These damn orcs. They can't keep off this place for the life of them. They came in here slinging fireballs and swinging swords. Wasn't a thing we could do to That was a right stunning show of magic you pulled, it was. Wish you'd have been around when our own barge went down in flame. Well, we were
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sailed the Yittle Door anymore?
Have you found us a job yet? We'll take anything. Well, you never know when something might turn up. Well, these bleeding... That was a...
Have you found us a job? Well, that was a...
No,
it in. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
You know the story. Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Council's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Yuthel Gore anymore? Sauce? Here in Seal. Ah, of all that cursed up.
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that Orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let it all within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Ahoy, sailor! Are you enjoying the fresh winds of Seal?
Straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the Lizard Council's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Yuthel Gore anymore?
Speaking of you...
Those orcs must be out of their barbarous minds launching an attack on a city where a great wizard resides. I'll tell you, the only time I'd consider... Name's Conrad, cargo trader, seek...
You're right.
Ha! No, it ain't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Salutations! Source hunters, I see. I'm Sergeant Curtis, proud protector of this house of Legion goods.
This place reeks of orc stench.
This is a storing house for Legion supplies. Perhaps the most important building in the realm, by my and others' estimation. And Curtis is my name.
We are colleagues, nothing more.
Come now, it's just a turn of phrase.
Will you please turn your phrases elsewhere? Keep your pleasantries to yourself. What are you doing inside this warehouse, snooping around? If it's conversation you're looking for, I'd recommend my comrade Florius. As for myself, my job is to protect this warehouse, not that idiot man-child would sooner spend an hour chatting up a thief than a minute arresting him. I only hope he gets transferred out of this warehouse and straight to the perimeter. Even thinking of him turns...
Well, a source hunter. About time the council took us...
Well, a source hunter? A very hearty welcome to our humble warehouse. Have a look around. And don't mind if I pick your brain about the scoop around Undervale. I'm behind on my current affairs. That fusspot said what? Well, old loose lips will let that lowly backbiter know what he thinks about... So, something you'd like to say to my face?
I haven't a thing to say to you. I'm on duty.
Duty, indeed. Put up your fists.
Are you mad? We're guards, not drunks on the street.
Enough! Oh, what is this barbarism? Back to your post at once!
Sir, this is an important matter. A matter of honor.
Such matters are to be settled on your own time. Understood?
Understood, sir.
Such bickering is all that thieves need to sneak by unnoticed.
It won't happen again, sir.
It better damn well not. Report!
Nothing to report, sir.
You never have anything to report.
Isn't that a good thing? That old spoilsport Horatius can gripe all he wants. I won't let him affect my disposition.
Away from there, you pilferer! That room is off limits to the good. But do not tempt fate again, or this is a storing house for Legion supplies.
She's purring, the darling.
What fool would trust a 2-bit love potion out of a back-page circular from youthful gore? Ah, who better than a proven orc crusher to convince my dumbbell of a friend here that orcs are pretty...
Enough of that. I know how dangerous an orc can be, but this one has been reformed. Anyone can see that she's completely docile. But my prejudiced friend here and I were patrolling outside the city walls, when who did I see creeping along the shore but this lovely orcish lady? For a brief second, as, well, perhaps confused by the butterflies in her stomach, she sprang up and began running, claws bared towards Marius. Fortunately for him, I had a vial of love potion shattered over her head, and when she turned to face me, she became instantly enamored. I'm sure she must have been compelled to join the Orcish army under some kind of duress. A lady with such a
I can assure you there wasn't a hint of sweetness in those murderous eyes when she lunged at my throat. She may be confined here for now, but who's telling when she'll escape and who she'll rip to?
Ah, I've always had an amateur interest in all things alchemical. When I read in an esteemed periodical from the Wizards of Youthful Gore about a sent away for the world-famous love potion, available for a limited time only, and...
You see what a fool my friend has been, spending all his cash on snake oil.
What kind of monster would lie in a published advertisement?
Maybe before the great orc raid we had time.
Excuse my friend's violent outbursts. He hasn't...
Your woman's touch is less of a loving caress and more of a claw shanked brutally through the throat. You see, he'd believe it was noon at midnight if he read it on a printed pamphlet. Please tell me you...
Let her live. If that potion would...
You're right.
Bravo! I trust not only the potion...
You're going to regret...
Too bad indeed. Not even a skeptic like you can deny that she loves me.
An orc in love.
A man in love with an orc? Blummin' bullfrogs. Is he blind, stupid, or both? Imagine the hell-sent mongrel that'll crawl forth from that union. Why didn't you put her down while you had the chance? Fie on yourself.
You're gauche, and I'll handle this threat for all our shakes.
She wouldn't hurt a fly, and I won't let you hurt a horn on her head.
One day, Moira. One day you'll show 'em all.
Halt! These gates are to remain closed at all times. Captain's orders. Wait a second. Well, I'll be a little red imp's uncle, the Source Hunter. Sorry for the gruff treatment. I didn't recognize you right away. Please tell me, how can I aid the investigation? You can see security's tighter than ever around here since that surprise attack the Orcs put on a fortnight ago. They did enough damage to shake up Ahu and Captain Aureus something fierce. We can only hope to hold back the undead and these left-field Orc attacks. You don't look like you're quite ready to head out into the wilds to me. You may have the right number of champions in your party, yet in experience, I think you're lacking. Of course, the choice is yours, but are you sure you want to venture out? I certainly hope you know...
Look alive, my good man. This gate'll be short work for a well-equipped contingent of orcs.